Hey guys, what it is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the drama like prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, girl, to see justice before all fades to black. Not quite black yet though. His your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I am coming through on May the 23rd, girl. I just got off of work, so yeah, still got my little uniform on, girl. But on my way home, I was watching this video and I decided I wanted to, girl, since I can't go walking because it looked like the whole sky is about to fall. That reminds me of this rap that I did. What is it called? Oh yeah, I used to think the limit was the sky. Now call me Chicken Little, since the sky is falling on my. Yes, the sky is falling. Oh my. So I won't be able to walk most likely unless it clears up before it gets dark. I'm definitely not gonna walk in the dark, girl. So I may not get my walk today. So I said, what's my next favorite thing to do? Make a YouTube video, girl. Okay, so on my ride home, I just seen this video just break. It is from, let's read it, African Diaspora. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. Diaspora. Diaspora. Diaspora News. Okay, I've been watching him lately. He talks a lot of stuff about basically the history of African Americans in this country and how a lot of that still affects us to this day, though we want to bury it and act like it does not affect us. That was so long ago. Oh my gosh, you guys, get over that and just come up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? But a lot of that, girl, a lot of that is why things are like, you literally cannot just come to the table with what is happening now and just say this is how people are, right? It always stems from somebody. Have you ever been around someone you like, ugh, like they real nasty, like I can't stand this person, they got a nasty attitude. I remember it was this one lady, this is a whole side note, but rest in peace to her. But it was this one lady that worked at the super center. She was like the nastiest person. She had a really bad attitude. She would get smart with you. She'll get, you know how someone in authority over you and they getting smart with you, but you're like, girl, like, for real, I'm just asking you a question or whatever. And she worked in the human resources. Well, she was really like nasty to people. Later, it came where they were talking about benefits and you should apply for short-term disability, long-term disability. And here she tells this heart-wrenching story about how she took the disability and good thing she took it because now she is battling cancer. And everybody was taken aback because they was like, oh my gosh, like maybe this is why, you know, she's the way that she is, because she has a lot going on and so much, you know. Unfortunately, a lot of people, when they have things happen to them, most times trauma in our community have had a lot of trauma. Trauma is not easy to, I mean, you can suppress it as much as you try. You can sometimes succeed in suppressing trauma. But because we aren't able to talk about it, we cannot verbalize it, we cannot even sit down and just talk about these issues, we can't come to conclusions, we can't pull our own selves up, we can't, it's like, God dog it, you're cutting us off at every turn. So it just ends up more and more people just acting out. It's literally something wrong, and nobody ever wants to address what happens. They just want to go on and on about how you guys act and stuff like that. And that's what pisses me off. Like when I fight for my husband, And the first thing that I always like, if I'm on other platforms and people that literally do feel the same way that I feel, when I get in the chat, always a freaking troll comes and answers me back when I'm not even talking to them. I'm talking to the person who channel I'm on, and I'm like, oh, I'm a prison wife. I have been literally fighting for my husband's freedom for the last 21 plus years. I know that literally goes in one ear of everyone and out the other, but baby, that affects me. That hurts me. That affects my family. That has set my family back. And it is not just my family. It is so many countless others, and a large majority of African American families. There are other situations, but as you know, an African American man gets 3 to 4 times more time in prison for the same crimes. They do not get the same time. They get way more time. So that is why African American males fill your prison so much more, because number one, they usually do not get off. A lot of time people are getting off on probation and things like that, house arrest, or they're getting slaps on wrists. Black men usually don't get that. Usually they're out on that first strike. Like literally they gave Marcello all 3 strikes on the first round, right? And they do longer times. So a counterpart, a man of another nationality could have committed the same crime, but most likely he will be out within just a couple of years if he gets that much time. And the black male serving the same time, serving for the same crime will get immensely amount of time, if not life. And people tend to tell me that's fair. Like, I don't want, like, literally, are you listening to anything I'm saying? But people tend to think it's fair. And then they come back and say, well, that's all them black boys are doing. And I'm like, that literally pisses me off. Because you always make a mistake when you group everybody together. For every that's all those black boys are doing, there's a guarantee there's a black boy somewhere excelling in his school curriculum, excelling in whatever he does, excelling somewhere. For everyone that you say, just like they say, that's all them females are doing. Well, baby, I'm not doing what all those females are doing. So I got to be grouped in with all those females. And that's how I feel when they say that's all those black guys are doing. Baby, I had a black father. I have a black father. My black father never did any of the above. He worked hard, like extremely hard, his whole goddamn life. He took care of his family, still takes care of his family. So, and then I have black cousins. I have many black, and then I have black nephews. You're already speaking that over their lives. That's all they're like. I remember I posted a short, if I can find it, and it got a lot of views because my black father, was teaching my nephew how to drive his tractor so that he can cut grass and make a few dollars and stuff like that. And I heard him because I heard him trying to show him, and I couldn't wait till I got ready, got out the shower, ran outside, and I started vlogging it. I'm like, dang, that reminds me of when my dad was teaching me how to drive. And it's like you can never get away from it. Someone posts how much you want to bet that tractor is stolen. I'm like, that's what you got out of. So we literally cannot even, you talk about that's all those black boys are doing, right? When we try to get our black boys and catch them before the streets get them, and we teach them something, teach them a trade, then they get accused of doing what they're not even doing. I promise you, they put a comment on my video, how much you want to bet the tractor is stolen. Why would the tractor be stolen? If it was any other nationality of little boy besides black, I'm sure most people would not have left that comment. But because my nephew has black skin, they leave comments, how much you want to bet is stolen. Well, any bet you would have put on that, it was not stolen. Black people can't have money. Black people can't own tractors. Black people can't own nothing. We can't have nothing. Are you sure? And then when we respond to it, then I don't know. And it's like we can never get past this because we can never have the conversation. When you have the conversation, you yourself are accused of this, and the other. When you're defending yourself against what is being done to you, you're not just going out there fighting the world for no goddamn reason whatsoever. So it literally pisses me off when they group all black boys together. Because literally what you're saying is we should just throw all our men away. All of our men, our older black generation, we should throw away our sons, our nephews, because that's all black boys do anyway, right? And that really pisses me off. That irks my soul when people say, and most time it's black people that say that. And most times it'll be a black commenter that say that. And I literally just do not get that. So, and I'm in Florida. I grew up in Florida. The time that we moved here in the 80s, Florida was not, you hardly seen a black face. I wouldn't see a black face for mile upon mile. I grew up around all white people. So I am not in no way that's not me at all. I grew up around all nationalities. And what I noticed is that we freaking get along until somebody tells us not to. Until someone says, hey, don't play with her because she's black. Hey, I even had to change my daughter's high school because somebody called her all types of names. And I really didn't want to because I'm like, money, honestly, baby girl, as long as we live with this beautiful golden brown skin, you're going to, unfortunately, it's a matter of time before you hear that someone's calling you that name. Right. So I feel like when this story here is about Governor Ron DeSantis, right? He's the one holding up all the criminal justice reform that could help my family, help my husband come back home, that could help that could free so many majority black men that's in this prison system. And it's not because we're worse people and more criminalized than other ethnicities. It is not. It's really not. It's just you're giving more time because they're committing just as many crimes, right? You're just giving more time to black people. You sitting them down for life, like for good. Girl, that's what Dr. Umar has said, for good. But okay, so we're going to listen to this video so now it is Asian women says that AAPI history is being used by WS to weaponize them. So basically, Ron DeSantis said no, critical race theory is not going to be taught, which I believe it should be, because I believe this generation is open-minded. They're not so closed-minded as generations of the past. A lot of people see when you're doing something wrong. They're like, no, people should not be treated that way. And a lot of people see mess for what it is, mess. And I think if a lot of people knew the history of what happened, a lot of people would feel differently. So I believe that should be taught. You should know where we came from. You should know what trauma we had to endure. That's how you know why. Because really, if you just come in, it's like turning on a movie and getting in the middle or the last scene. And maybe it's the scene where the bad guy is winning and the good guy is losing. And you come in and you're like, yeah, get him. But you don't even know what happened. You're just jumping in the end. and said, yeah, get the bad guy. But the bad guy's not even the bad guy. The bad guy's the good guy, and the good guy's the bad guy. Like, girl, watch the full movie. You got to know the history. And I believe that's something that needs to be taught, honestly. But he denied that. He's like, no, that might make other nationalities feel bad about what happened to you guys. So we're not going to acknowledge that. We're not going to. No. You literally, it's just like almost an abusive parent. If an abusive parent ever wanted to make amends with the child for something they did, as long as you ignore that you did that, how could you and the child ever have any type of working relationship? As long as you, and that's basically gaslighting. When you act like it never happened. No, that didn't happen. Oh no, that is gaslighting, right? So they literally denied critical race theory, but then approved AAPI history, which it's fine if you want to teach that. But don't decline one just to teach another. And I think what is more needed in our society, in our state of Florida, is the critical race theory. Because no longer is Florida just an all-white state like it basically was when we moved here in the 80s. Baby, no, Florida is a boiling pot. It is every nationality you can think of. But I think they know that and they see that, but they want to keep it in the hands of basically who used to run it back in the day that kept us down, held us down. They want to keep us back. They don't want any type of change coming. It's inevitable, right? Like they don't want prison reform. But the fact is, you were too zealous with locking every Black person, most Black people that came through your court system, first of all, targeting them and then locking them up and throwing them away. Well, now prisons and DLC in Florida are to critical capacity, right? They literally don't. They're trying to hurry up and build prison. They don't have nowhere to house anybody else. So that means if somebody's committed, remember I said, y'all don't care about wrongful convictions when it's me saying my husband was wrongfully convicted, but would you care if your loved one or yourself had something happen to you and they arrest somebody different and come back later saying, no, I'm sorry, the guy that we thought violated you, that's not even him. So the guy that really violated you, we let him get away while we just randomly arrested somebody else. Like, are we okay? Are we good now? Girl. Whew. So let's listen to this video. It's about to pour down raining and my hands going to bed.
So recently Ron DeSantis has signed a law where now children K through 12 will be learning AAPI history. Well, a lot of people say, he's talking about critical race theory, banning that.
Yeah.
He wants to ban certain aspects of Black history, talking about stop woke and all these other things that he wants to do, attacking Black people. But he wants to do AAPI history. Well, there's two Asian ladies that caught on to the real thing that DeSantis is trying to do by using Asians.
Y'all, Florida just passed AAPI history education. And if you're like, wait, did I read that headline correctly? Florida, as in Governor DeSantis, signed this into bill. Yeah, exactly. This is why we gotta use our critical thinking. Yeah, the same state that has the Don't Say Gay bill, that banned African American history, that banned critical race theory. Yeah, something's not adding up. But if you go one level deeper, it actually really adds up because white supremacy tactics, they're not creative. An important force in Asian American racialization is the invention of the model minority myth, which was very much based on perpetuating anti-Black oppression. And then on top of that, the theory of Asian American racial triangulation teaches us that Asian Americans are typically used as a racial wedge group to create this triangulated form, this triangle shape, in order to keep the racialized structure stable.
the word she used in triangulation, that is used in manipulation, mind control stuff. Like, girl.
So that the power can continue to stay in the hands of the people who have traditionally held power. So passing mandatory AAPI history education is compatible with banning Black American history if you think you can use Asians to continue anti-Black oppression. And I will not at all be shocked when Florida Congress people and the governor hide behind the passage of this bill as proof to say that they are not racist. So community, let's stay vigilant and critical of these tactics.
I guess I'm getting a lesson in be careful what you wish for, because last week Ron DeSantis signed a bill to mandate the teaching of AAPI history to K through 12 students in the state of Florida. And I hope that Asian Americans who are seeing this can recognize that we are yet again being weaponized against Black people. This is divide and conquer. It will push the model.
You know, I was good in my 20s, and when I realized I did not know that other minority groups were prejudiced against other minority groups. Call me crazy, naive, or whatever. I literally did not know that. Honestly, I literally did not know I was looked at and felt different about because of my Black skin until I was until this stuff with Marcello happened, because I did grow up in an all white neighborhood. One of the only Black child. I do have a Draw My Life that I can link in the description box. One of the only Black children in my elementary school, which that whole city itself, I did not know the history of that city. It was a Black town that we were basically pushed out, pushed off our land, taken from us, snatched from us, and basically became a white town. And now, I did not know this history. There's a Netflix special about it. Come to find out that when I heard it, because it was on a Star 94.5, that's a big radio station in the Orlando, Florida area. And they used to take us on these Black history tours where we can learn our own Black history in our own backyard, right? And when they said that this town was a Black town, I'm like, Black town? Where the Black people was at? Where they at, girl? Like, I literally was the only little Black girl. And girl, they made fun of my hair. They did. Girl, I found out I was Black because the children told me, girl, you Black. And to find out that was a Black town, I'm like, huh? Like, literally. And on my way home from elementary school, we used to pass the lake with the trees over it. And they would tell me, hey, you know, that's where they used to. And I'm like, huh? Like, what? I literally could not understand this because a person is Black. I did not get it. But so we were, you know, I was the one little Black girl. And basically, I mean, we played together. Everything was cool. They made known that you're Black and we're white. But I mean, we still got along. It wasn't until I got older that I realized. And when I seen my husband be wrongfully convicted, I'm like, why? And literally, I told that public defender, I told y'all, if y'all follow my channel, when I came out the courtroom after the judge hit that desk, it was like guilty, 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 with no evidence against him. Nothing. Corroborating nothing. You didn't even bring the weapon that you're charging him with. Nothing. You don't have fingerprints, DNA, nothing. And for you to just sit and watch me tell this story over and over and over and not ask any questions, you just feel like it's okay. And it's literally because he's Black, because he's a Black guy. If I was speaking of my husband who was a white guy, or who most likely if he was Hispanic, somebody would care. But because my husband's a Black male, nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody says, hey, we gotta help. You know what I'm saying? But that woke me up. That lawyer came up to me and said, do you know why he got charged? And I said, yeah, because he's Black. I promise you that's how I said to this man. And he said, yep, to be honest with you, that's the only reason. So you would literally take a man's life at his prime, 19, just turning 20, just had a baby, getting married, just had a little baby girl. You would take him away and throw him in the trash because he's black. You mean to tell me if he wasn't black, you wouldn't have threw him away like that? That man literally told me, yes, that's the only reason why. So I'm surprised he even admitted it. Then later went on to tell me he quit that type of law because that's all they were doing was railroading black men. I did not, that was the rudest awakening that I literally did not know that we could be hated so bad, which would show how naive I was, right? But that woke me up. And we need to be teaching it. We need to hear what is happening. We need to, because it keeps continuing. It continues. The prison ain't nothing but SLAVERY continued. It's just the 0.0. You know how they do. The next version is the 0.0 version or whatever. That's all it is. That's all it is. And you're filling them with black men. Honestly. And we don't care.
Minority myth. And I don't even want to imagine what a Florida developed AAPI history curriculum looks like. Because you know it's not going to be the truth.
Wow.
Now, both of them are spot on. That is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to use Asians to have black people fighting against Asians, right? And say, oh, the Asians this, the Asians, and taking our eyes off the white supremacists. They'd try. Listen, the white supremacist is not progressive. They very.
And when he says that WS word, he's not talking about all white people. He's not talking about all white people. Don't take offense if you are not doing that, not living that lifestyle. That nobody is, we're not talking to you. That's the whole point of, it's like you can't even say what you need to say without being accused of being just like the person violating you. It makes no sense. No, we're not talking about people that are not holding other people back. We're not talking about people that are making judgments on people that are based off race. If you're not doing that, we're not talking to you. Don't group yourself together with those that are doing that, because that's not who I'm talking to. Just like I said, I don't want to be grouped in with, and I don't want you to group my father in with that's all those black guys are doing. Not all white people are doing that. I know that. That's all I grew up around was white people, for real. I know that. I know it's not every white person. So nobody is saying that. So please don't take it that way. Like Chris Reese says, please do not hear what I'm not saying.
Remedial. They need other groups of people to be fighting each other all the time. They need black people and Asians to be fighting. They need black people and Hispanics to be fighting. They need black people and Arabs to be fighting. And while we all fighting each other, we're not watching.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting off. Y'all know I get lost in, girl, y'all already know. I did not know. I was trying to tell you that I didn't know that another minority group could actually hate another minority group, literally, because I was so naive. I did not know. It takes experience to open one's eyes. And if you don't have that experience, maybe history courses, like learning of the past, could help. You know what I mean? But it wasn't until I met this Filipina, and I promise you, like, there's a whole story time about that, but I did not know that her family did not like black people. And she literally took me over her house with my black skin and then like, oh, be careful, my grandfather doesn't like black people. And I'm like, why would you bring me here? Like, for real? Like, did I not look black to you? And she was like, oh, that's because you don't act black. You act like you're white. And I'm like, I'm literally confused now. I don't know how you act like you're white. But she told me literally, you don't act like a black woman. So I don't know. And that's how I learned that other minority races, you can get that ism from other minorities. And I'm like, what? I literally don't understand it. Like, honestly, I've had, it was in the past, I had a white friend, and I promise you, if you forget about, and I don't wake up every day and say, oh, I'm a black woman, I'm a black woman, I'm a black woman. And I'm sure she don't wake up every day saying, oh, I'm a white woman, I'm a white woman, I'm a white woman. Literally, we were about the same age, grew up near the same area or the same type of childhood, basically accustomed to the same type of shows and all of our nostalgia and stuff like that. And then basically we both had teenage daughters at the time, and everything, like literally we had so much in common. We had both lost a parent recently, and we had so much in common. And the difference you would see would be our skin. Like, we had less differences than commonalities. But if we stopped at the difference of race, how would we have ever found out that we had so much in common? Like, girl, goodbye. Like, I don't know.
Him. And he's harming both communities, but he will use the Asian community and treat them just a little bit better. It's kind of like this.
Oh.
How the white supremacists operate.
I love his analogy he finna use. What he finna use? Perfect analogy for Florida.
Let's say prison. So the white supremacist is the warden of the prison. And
oh, he ain't lying. He is not lying. They run them prisons, girl. They run them prisons. I am the OG prison white, 21+ years in the state of Florida. Every backwood place you could think of. Sometimes we be scared. We be like, oh my God, let's hurry up from visitation and get on home somewhere or get to the hotel. We be like, well, should we go? Does this feel like, I promise you, me and Money have been on so many trips. And it's like, we felt like, should we even be going around town? And I promise you, one place we went to, the lady told us, you girls be careful and don't be out after dark. And I'm like, are we really in that type of town? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know if she was warning us about the gators or something else. Like, literally, like, why do we have to go through that? But unfortunately, that's our reality.
what he likes to do is, black people, of course, we don't get no extra privileges in the prison. We are doing all the hard work. We just treated the worst in the prison. And when it comes to these other groups, what the white supremacists like to do is, okay, well, Asian community, I'm not gonna let you don't have to work like they have to work. I'm gonna let you get some extra dessert, you know, in the lunch line, and I'm gonna let you, maybe go out of the prison here and there, some extra privileges to make you feel like you're treated better than the blacks, right? But at the end of the day, the warden of the prison, which is the white supremacist, is still the warden and controlling the whole prison. Everybody's in the prison. It's just some people treated just a little bit better in the prison. They got a little bit more privileges, but you're still in the prison. It's just that simple. And what the white supremacists don't want is for all the prisoners to look at each other and say, wait a minute, we in prison and he, no. Let's band together and get him. That's what he don't want. So in the prison, he wants the blacks and the Asians fighting, and the blacks and Hispanics and the blacks, and that's what he wants. So he's crafting, doing things to pit people at each other.
That same analogy is how Marcella ended up, honestly, in maximum security. I mean, though that's an analogy, that's literally happening. Keep everybody at odds.
And the people got to stop falling for those same tricks. Mm-hmm. The model minority myth, and it is a myth, there's no such thing as a model minority. Oh, what? Because Asian people just not going to say anything, when you're doing wrong? Is that a model minority, just staying quiet and keeping your head down and letting you be oppressive and toxic and everything else? That's what a model minority is. No, we're not going to be a model, but we're going to call you out. We're gonna call out your satanic devilment that you do to people. So no, we definitely not gonna be the model, and no Asian person should want to be called a model minority. Or y'all pretty good. Well, the Asians do this and the Asians do that, yeah, but what do they do, y'all? Homeland?
I guess I'm getting a lesson in be careful what you wish for, because last week Ron DeSantis.
Just
Hold on.
do we know where Peter Strzok was, by the way?
Why did it cut off?
Just saying. I'm just gonna say there's like
I was trying to show
a
y'all.
lot of diversity in white supremacy lately. It's kind of interesting. There's so much diversity within the white supremacist demo. Who would have thought? Who knew? Yeah, but I mean, diversity. I guess times are changing. Who knows? Just wondering. Just gonna put that down. Just put that out there. Just Whew. So, okay, I've got to make this make sense for me. All right, here's a story. It's a woke story. So this story.
What is this?
was
This
in,
is not it. That was so weird because that almost sounded like that was her talking.
You look at all of what they did in Japan. China just figured out to flip the game.
Okay, so that wasn't her speaking. That was something that was on the radio. I'm like, what the heck? But I thought that was her. So I'll link that video in the description box below. But guys, I don't know. It's a two-edged sword. You can't tell your story. You can't get justice because to tell the story, you have got to tell the perpetrator. And unfortunately, the perpetrator is... Girl. I literally, to be honest with y'all, I just want my little husband home and go on. Just let people feel how they feel, because it's like, how do you get change? How can you get change? We can't come together. We can't sit down and talk about it. We can't. So we just literally just have to stay at odds with one another. So I honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. I just want my little husband home and draw my little pictures and go ahead on. Whatever you feel about me for being a black woman, feel that way. Just like when I love Willie D. Willie D Live. He tells it how it really is. Oh my gosh, I love him. Girl. But he was like, I asked him, because I put in a comment. Now I'm sure he probably never seen my comment, girl. But I was like, what do you think about? Because he did cover that story as soon as it broke that Ron DeSantis denied critical race theory, right? That was a few months ago that he said that. And when I heard about, but he approves, I don't understand, like, what's the difference? Like, you approve one, but you reject the other. But you almost approve one that is not as pertinent to our situation as the other, And so, and actually, you could have combined them if you wanted to. You literally could have combined all the minority races and taught it all together if you wanted to, because you need to know how to deal with people of other nationalities, except for just suppressing them and holding them down. Like, no, we literally would be much stronger if we just worked all together. Like, so I asked him what he thought about it, and somebody came for me. Here come the troll. I literally cannot even get online. Can't say what I want to say. Can't. Here come the troll. You're lying. You're lying. And all I asked was, what do you feel about Ron DeSantis giving the green on one and stopping the other? That's all I asked. Because I wanted to hear his views, because I know he's going to come truthfully. And then I'm accused of being a liar. I'm like, girl, I don't know. Sometimes you just, as a black person, honestly, guys, we literally just want to live. Literally, like when I wake up in the morning, the first thought on my mind is not I'm a black woman and my husband's a black man. Like, and my daughter's a black woman and my granddaughter's a black girl and my beautiful nephew's a black boy. Like, who thinks about that on a daily basis? But we always have to, it's almost like that's not your first thought. Your first thought is, oh God, another day, I gotta work. How am I gonna feed my family? My dreams, my hopes, my aspirations, me trying to get my business, how I'm gonna get my husband home. Yes, I'm thinking about my husband. I ain't thinking about the fact that he's black. Like, that's the last thing that crosses my mind. But it's like, when you want to just live, your attention is always forced back to, but you're black. All y'all do is steal and rob and ill people. And then I have to accept a reality that I'm not even doing. That's not even my reality. That's not even my family's reality, but we have to accept and deal with the consequences of a few. But okay, I don't know. This ain't my world. Just like Tupac, I was given this world, I didn't make it, because I sure want to make this world like this. And I'm not questioning God. God had a plan of how he, God gave us choice and free will. And humans decided to taint this world up and make it the way it is, right? All right, guys, so it's raining real good, so I'm going to go ahead home. If I don't head up to the Walmart, girl, first and get some of their little free Wi-Fi's and upload this video. Thank you for rolling with your girl, Cadillac. Hiss your girl, Cadillac.